All right, everybody, welcome. We are now live here again with Dirty Deeds show here at the Games Tavern. We explore one of the coolest settings in Dungeons & Dragons ever on. If this is your first time here joining us this evening, we want to welcome you. Great having you here. Look forward to spinning a few tales for you this evening as our adventurers here finish maybe their time in the Moonlands. But we'll see. We'll get into all that here a little bit later. Make sure you follow us here. It's free, helps support the cast, the crew, everybody working in the background. And also remember, not only can you catch us live every Wednesday, but about 48 hours or so later, we upload our videos to YouTube. So if you missed any of the previous shows, or you just want to go back and rewatch them again to see, maybe if you pick up on a few things as we went along, go catch us there on YouTube as well. I'm excited to go ahead and get started on our nice lore drop this evening. But before we go ahead and do that, we got a few announcements we got to run through with everybody.
Firstly, remember that if you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Prime Gaming subscription, and Prime Gaming subscribers support everyone here on the show, and they get access to our sub-only emotes and a special subscriber-only channel on the TGT Discord. So go ahead and click the button, and remember, you have to come back and do that every single month to keep your subscription up to date. Thank you.
Also, a big thank you to Shard Tabletop for sponsoring the show. You can follow the link in chat to check it out for yourself. Shard Tabletop is the place to play 5th edition games. You can access rules, adventures, and other supplements. It also supplies digital tools like a character builder, digital character sheets, as well as all sorts of other tools you can use in-game, like spell effect builds. Super cool. We think so highly of Shard Tabletop that they are now the official VTT of the Games Tavern. And to make this announcement even better, you can go to the link in chat and use the promo code TGTShard20 and save 20% on all subs.
Tonight, we are giving away an epic character avatar fantasy starter bundle. And not one, no, not two, but 3 free packs from Overhead Games. Type !epic once you see the notice in chat that the raffle is live. You must be a follower to enter, and you must be present in chat for the staff to contact you to win. We will continue to take entries until the end of stream when we pick a winner.
Yep, definitely make sure you stick around for that. And now we are going to go into our story. As previously, our adventurers 2 years ago, before the catastrophe known as the Morning took place, were assisting with recovery of certain artifacts, is what they were told. But throughout their adventure, they found out that the artifact that they were after was a ship which was heavily damaged, and they had returned to the city of Sharn, where they found an individual named Sebastian, who was able to assist them with repairs. And upon finding out that they were wanted criminals by the Boromar clan, they made their escape from the city of Sharn aboard this airship with the faithful Sebastian as their pilot. Upon their departure, they traveled the skies until the morning happened. And that catastrophe not only destroyed the once great nation of Seer, but their ship was brought down in the process. As the catastrophe happened, Sebastian was able to bring the ship down close enough to the ground where our adventurers were able to depart the ship prior to it plunging into the dead gray mist that now surrounds the Moonlands. That was the last time our adventurers had ever seen their friend Sebastian, until last week, when exploring an abandoned village, they finding no signs of life at all, they discovered a mysterious well that seemed to be relocating itself throughout the center of this village. Upon trying to inspect this well, it turned out to be a mimic, a creature designed to look like innocuous items to lure people in, where it will then try to consume them. Upon defeating this giant mimic, 5 of the houses that they had yet to explore seemed to almost come to life, as they were large mimics themselves. and started pursuing our adventurers out into the wastes of the Moonlands. When looking out on the horizon, they discovered that they were soon being surrounded by what looked to be an army of Warforged, giant Warforged titans, and hundreds upon hundreds of Warforged soldiers seemed to surround them on all sides, except for the houses that were slowly approaching them from the rear. When a mysterious ship, cloaked in shadows, looking very familiar to our crew, descended towards them, dropping a ladder and a platform down to help assist them to get on deck of the ship. Seeing this as their only option for escape, our crew went ahead and ascended to the deck of the ship, looking around where they noticed the crew were phasing in and out between what looked to be the ethereal and material planes. And they ran into their old friend, who seems to be the captain of this ship, Sebastian, who brought them into his quarters to have a talk with his long lost friends. And that is where we ended last week. So, my adventurers, you are now sitting inside the captain's quarters of what appears to be your long forgotten ship that you know has crashed within the Moonlands because you've been to its ruins. And sitting across from you all is your old friend Sebastian, looking quite a bit different from the last time you'd seen him. The whole side of his face is scarred and burnt up, and he is constantly shifting in and out of existence as the rest of his crew was as well. Well, I'll tell you what, my friends, never in my days did I think I would see you all again. What have you all been up to these last 2 years?
So did you die?
He kind of chuckles a little bit.
I'll just like shut
Yeah.
here and be like, regardless, it's really good to see you again.
It's good to see you too, Echo.
I shove Echo back.
So that is a very good question, though, Tavern. I don't know.
He's constantly phasing, correct?
Yes, he is. You see him just constantly shifting back and forth between the material plane and the ethereal plane.
Okay. Does it hurt when you keep moving the way that you're moving?
He holds his hand up and you just see it kind of doing this flickering again. Doesn't hurt at all.
Do you feel anything from it?
I don't feel nothing anymore.
Can I DM letting them do that stuff kind of ahead of me? Can I cast detect evil and good?
Yes. But before you do that, go ahead, give me a wisdom saving throw, please. As for those of you who are not aware previously, the Moonlands has been messing with the magic of our characters. Every time they cast a spell first level or higher, there is a chance to cause a wild magic surge. So what did you get?
25.
25, you are safe. You are able to...
So within, because I'm just like, I'm not scared of him, but I like that question about the phasing has me curious and about death. So 10 minutes within 30 feet, I know locations of aberrations, celestials, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead.
Okay. So at the completion of your spell, you're not getting a sense of any of those.
Aaron pings off.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. You do get a little ping from Terran. And
ping?
what kind of ping, Terran?
What kind of ping? What was it again? What were the...
Pretty much everything. It's one more time for the folks at home: aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead.
I don't know. Turn just pings off as badass.
Oh, okay. No. So You're not getting any kind of vibe from Tyrion then.
I'm gonna ping a badass, and I realize my scanner's going wrong. Obviously.
I look
Yeah.
at Hal Saracen wink.
So it's actually two separate terms. It's just bad and
Ass. Yeah, I get that.
DM ain't pulling punches. Glad it's someone else.
Anyway. So yeah, so Alceres, you do not get the sense of any of those coming off of anything here.
What can you tell us, Sebastian? I mean, we have been trying to do right. There is a settlement outside of the Moonlands where a lot of the refugees from the Morning have established a form of new capital for Seer.
Oh really?
Yes.
Where and where perchance is that one located at?
New Seer is west of here by some distance.
To the west.
Few
huh?
days, yeah.
Well, this is good news. Kind of wish maybe we had known about that one sooner.
What's up?
So-
What is problem?
Well, so as you all know, you were able to jump ship before we hit the mist. When I hit the mists, everything went dark for a while. And then one day I woke up on this ship with all this crew looking to me for answers. And I had none for them. But then we saw a group of refugees and we helped them. And that is what we have been doing for the last couple years. We fly around the Moonlands looking for lost souls, individuals who have lost their way. And we've been bringing them to the city of Metro to try to help their...
Metro is still there?
The ruins are there. The ruins, and there are those within the city who fight to help people escape the horrors of the Moonlands. If we had known there was a settlement for them to the east, we may have tried to find another route. But Metro has worked well so far.
Well, seems like we've been in the same line of work.
Oh, really? Y'all are here help looking for lost refugees as well?
Amongst other things. And I throw a quick glance to Hal Saris.
Tell us, Sebastian, I do not mean to pry, but how came you by the ship? It was simply with you when you came to? It was... how is this here? Not long ago, we actually ventured to the crash site of this ship in search of few things left behind, but also in hope of burying what was left of you, if there was enough to be found. But we saw the ship split in half, broken.
You see him just kind of almost get lost for a second. Like he's just kind of looking around, looking for an answer. I don't know. Last I remember, was flying the ship, got low so you all could escape. And then I plunged into that wall of fog and mist. And then I was here. I assumed this was the same ship.
I'm sorry, my friend. It is not.
DM, does it look like the same ship or does it look like a ship?
So looking over it, especially now that you're on board and you're getting a better view of some of the stuff on the deck of the ship, it looks exactly like the same ship. The only difference is this one is a lot darker, and it's got almost a shadowy mist kind of enveloping the whole thing of it.
I feel like we're kind of dancing around this point a little bit, but did you just wake up like this?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I think we can chalk that up to the Moonlands being, well, the Moonlands.
Have you tried leaving the Moonlands to see if things change?
As you say that, he almost gets a sad and dejected look on his face. We've tried several times. Every time we attempt to go through the mist, we end up coming right back out of it within the Moonlands.
Like does it transport you back in?
It's just it almost as if it turns us around. Like
Happened
we
to us
have
too. You remember that, guys?
like we have some sort of purpose here. After the first few times, that's when we decided to try to find a place that we could bring refugees safely.
I mean, it's a noble cause, but where are you headed now? How did you find us?
Well, that village that you all found tends to have a lot of people show up there.
It is a very tantalizing bait in the Moonlands.
Yeah. The thing is, most people, when they get there, don't have any recollection of how they got there.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It is.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
The people that we are able to save from that village they were usually doing something else. A lot of them traveling through a tunnel within the glass plateau just find themselves all of a sudden there in front of this village. And we tend to make trips back that way often enough. And then we saw you all running from the houses and came down to help you.
The Warforged, do they march around like an army all the time? Is this normal?
What Warforged?
Didn't you see the hundreds of machine men surrounding us when you guys came to save us?
No, we saw no army. We only saw the houses.
There was no Warforged.
None that we saw.
You see Warforged often.
There has been an increase in their activity, but nothing on the scale of what you're talking about.
That's very odd.
You said there was an army.
Damn right it was an army.
Quite a large host.
Yeah,
Up,
At
all
least we
sizing.
thought we saw.
I know what I saw.
Yeah, what about that giant Titan thing we saw on the way in?
It could be somewhere, anywhere in the morning.
What about the dinosaur things, the things that Echo saw? A lot of things in the Moonlands aren't exactly what they look like.
How long have y'all been lost in the Moonlands?
We weren't lost, Sebastian.
Yet.
We were lost. We were 100% lost in that village.
In the village, yeah. When
I
we
mean,
got to the village.
technically, we own the bar now, so it could also be considered being home. But
That is also true.
We,
A lot.
but we have some sort of
It's a
base
house.
here now.
A lot happened. A lot happened in the Moonlands, Sebastian.
We've been here a few days.
Yeah.
But clearly, that's not as much, not as long as you've been. I mean, 2 years going back and forth around.
We've it's been a long journey. Managed to help probably a few hundred people. Hopefully they were able to make it out of the Moonlands. I know that the people we spoke with at Metro, we're trying to get them all to gather hold, where they're trying to set up a community of sorts for them.
Have you've been? It seems different threads are binding together, but you have been sailing these skies for 2 years. Do you
Yeah.
have a map?
Sort of.
Or estimate of 80? On the outside, the Moonlands are widely unexplored. As far as cartographers, not exactly making it out alive.
So you see at that, he kind of stands up from his desk, walks over to a wall, and you see him go to open what almost looks like a cabinet on the wall. And as he opens it up, you see a large map posted inside this little cabinet. And it's only a map of the Moonlands as they currently stand.
Wow.
And so there's not much view of anything. There is no view of anything outside of the Moonlands. Just the Moonlands itself. This is kind of what we have as a basic understanding right now. And this changes as things happen.
I bet.
Do you mind if I
That'd be my guest.
appreciate this? I listen to the conversation, but I spend a few minutes just like transcribing as much as I can into my notebooks.
Okay. Yep. What are the rest of y'all doing?
I will try and see if. I mean, I'm not just gonna wander away. Okay, for now, I'm staying put.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask Sebastian, so have you seen any part of the Moonlands that isn't necessarily dangerous?
No, unfortunately. I mean, the glass plateau itself up top is fairly barren. But as you approach the spires of making, that's when the activity gets worse.
Don't
And
go
there-
near the spires of making. Okay.
There's something within the ruins of making, something deep within that glass plateau. We try to avoid it at all costs.
Spires of sorry, DM. Are spires of making like part of the glass plateau, or are they like separate areas?
So he kind of describes it for you. And when you look at the glass plateau, it is almost a complete flat surface of just the reflective obsidian, similar to what you all saw within the tunnel.
Okay.
The spires that he's referring to are actual portions of the city of making. Some of the higher towers and stuff like that are peeking through the top of the obsidian glass. And he's referring to those areas around where you could actually get down into the ruins of making through these towers. No place that we've seen so far seems safe in this place.
It was worth an ask.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a bad scar on the land. And whatever you do, don't go near the glowing chasm. And how Sarah, as he says that, you see the portion of the map that's outlined that shows the glowing chasm starts to actually glow a dark purple color on the map.
Can I make some sort of check on this map? Because, like, seeing that, I think it is more than just parchment. Is it? Can I make a Arcana or investigation check as to what this might be?
Yeah, go ahead, do Arcana.
Arcana. 10.
You do sense that there is some sort of magical property to it, but you can't really. I mean, you can tell it's obviously something going on with it, because as you continue to look at it, you see certain portions of it start to kind of shift and change a little bit, almost as if the land in that particular area is also shifting slightly.
Sebastian,
Yeah.
is this map continually accurate?
It seems to be. And then as he says that, you do see scattered throughout the entire Moonlands small little pinpricks of white light pop up and then fade out. They'll stay there for a minute or so and then they'll kind of go away.
I don't suppose there's a key on this map.
There's not.
Okay, yes. Not for everybody. These speckles, is it supposed to just constantly do little lights up, or what is this?
So that right there is how we find those who are lost. The map shows us where to find them, as if somebody or something wants us to find them and rescue them.
But I mean, you can't. Some are pretty far. Do you just and they're disappearing so fast?
Yeah, we try to rescue all we can. So, but unfortunately, the horrors of this land just sometimes can't quite get there. We rescue who we can, and we try to give comfort to those we can't. Some of my crew here are ones that we were able to rescue.
I turned my back, kind of acknowledge him at that, and I turned my back to look at the map again.
Okay.
But I'm going to reach into my chest pocket and pull out the artifact.
Okay, which one?
The
eye? Or
the eye.
Yeah, okay. As you pull that out, the little pinpricks of light on the map start to glow a little brighter and they stay there.
Which artifact is Hellsir's pulling out?
So he is pulling out the small marble-like jewel that you all picked out of the middle of that meteorite that came down when you found your Sybaris dragon shards.
I bring it closer to the map, just kind of looking, and then kind of lift it up to my eye. Do I see anything?
No.
Okay.
But as you do bring it closer to the map, you see some now small pinpricks of a dark red, almost purplish light start to glow within a few regions of the map. One seems to be appearing within the city of Metrol itself. Another brighter one shows up within the glowing chasm. And the brightest one you see shows up right over the city of Making within the glass plateau.
Is it the same purple as was coming from the glowing chasm before?
Yeah, so this is almost a darker,
Like a darker.
yeah, red. So the chasm itself was still kind of glowing, but this is a very pinprick light coming from within the center of it. So, what's all your plans now? You gonna continue to wander the Moonlands? You want to stay here with me on the ship? Or are you on a mission somewhere else?
We've got a few things that we're trying to get done here.
Yeah.
I think most importantly, we're trying to make it all the way through.
We want to make it over to Gatherhold.
I see. Well then, heading off to Metro is going to be your best bet. We'll get you up there. It's going to probably take about 10 hours or so from here.
You know, it sounds like we still got some catching up to do. So
Yeah. So when you get there, you're going to be looking for a man named Joseph. Joseph is the leader of the people there who are assisting, because we can't approach the Dead Gray Mist, and we can't land. So we meet him on the towers with all the refugees, and he assists them with their escape.
you can't land.
This is still an airship.
Would require proper docking to
Yeah.
enable it to leave.
The sky towers of Metro are still intact, so we use those
As a dog.
as a dock.
We heard there might be some kind of, I don't know, bad business going on in Metro. Haven't heard anything, have you?
No, it's been a few months since the last group we brought there. Nothing that we knew. Last time we went there, everything seemed to be just fine. What kind of bad business have you heard of?
Oh, nothing much. Just some rumors. That's about it.
Let's see, hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah.
Yosef and his people are good.
They are Metro residents from the morning, or they are displaced peoples?
There's a mixture of both. Yosef was actually the steward to the king and queen of Sia. He's kind of taken up residence at the castle. That's where they'll house the refugees for a while until they're in a good enough shape to travel. So what's y'all's plans once you arrive at Gatherhold?
We are
Not entirely sure.
on the lookout for some peoples of interest, but then we are heading. There has been trouble in the place that we have established, Nusir. Threats, not from the Moonland, but I fear probably just as dark and just as dangerous.
So is it true what we've heard, that the war is actually finally over?
For now, I would say. I tell him about the treaty, and I tell him about that it's kind of like it's peace. It's not a solid peace. It's more of a Cold War kind of peace. Everything is tense right now, but there is no active conflict currently happening.
That is some semblance of good news. At least that
I don't
war
think
is
it's
over.
enough, though.
No?
I think more should be done for those who have lost their homes. Like the fact that you're taking it upon yourself to seek out refugees and those who are lost. It should be on other lands and other parts of the area to seek out people for their own population, I suppose. I don't know. Just feel like there should be more done, and that we're taking it on ourselves to do it rather than hire officials.
Well, 100 years of war, those bitter rivalries they'll do that to people. They should work together, but we all know the nature.
Deep wounds take time to heal.
It will take time. But at least they've got this Moonlands. That can be a reminder to them of what might happen from the war.
It is always sobering.
Yeah, have they figured out what caused all this yet?
Part of that mystery is what keeps the peace.
I see.
Yeah, can't risk it, happening elsewhere.
Yeah, if this was to happen to all of Corvair, who knows what would happen. Well, enough of this sad repertoire. You all look to be, other than your few scars from traveling to Moonlands, you all seem to be doing pretty well for yourselves.
Probably could use a break. We've been at it for a bit.
Yeah, we could all use a vacation from time to time.
More warm, more concrete states of matter.
Well, these last 2 years have taught me anything. It's to be thankful for what I do have. Things could have ended up for me a lot worse than they did. At least now I get to help people.
It's a good way to look at it.
You try to find the positive. Hope is always a great thing to have.
So,
Is there some place that we might get some rest? It's been, I don't even know how long since we all.
You all are starting to really feel it now, as you have just been nonstop for probably almost 24 hours or so now. And he looks and says, well, we don't sleep ourselves. We don't need to eat, but we do have a few bunks made up down the below decks for people to rest when we find them.
I'll see myself down there then. I don't know about you all, but me and Biscuit are gonna take a nap.
So they're located down in that old Warforged workshop.
All right.
Yep.
I'll join you soon. Captain, do you mind if I explore the elemental engines?
You can take a look at them, but in case you didn't notice, there's no elemental anymore.
Right.
The rings are still there. We don't require anybody to pilot the ship. I use my own mind to steer it. Maybe because I was connected to it when we entered the mist. What was that?
Kieran raises an eyebrow at that. I've been kind of in my own thoughts a little bit throughout the whole conversation. I've been paying attention but thinking about my own thing. But when he says that, Kieran it piques the interest.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yes.
Did our what are they called? Her bikes, but
The
did
hover
they-
horses?
The hover
Hover
horses.
horses. I knew. I was like, they can't be called hover horses, are they? They
Yeah,
are.
no, they're still called hover
But they
horses.
are.
Oh. Did they come
Well,
with
you
us, or did we just like?
No, no. So they had lowered a platform as well that you were able to
Okay.
get the bikes on.
We didn't just like strand Igna. We'd be like,
No.
please.
No, so you do have the bikes. They are currently sitting
Okay.
on the deck right now.
I think, yeah. With your leave, I would like to walk the ship a while, if that is okay.
Absolutely. This, even though it's not in the same state it was, this is still your ship. And you just,
So,
he kind of gives you a wink as he says that.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
The-
And I'll excuse myself.
Okay.
yeah. I'll also leave.
All right. Echo, Ro, what are you two doing?
I'm going to head over to the little space that Tyrion and I once fought in.
Okay.
Or like
It-
had a
almost.
little standoff and so I want to fight.
Yeah. I'm
So-
I'm going back to
I'm
my
just
corner.
gonna Go in that corner and kind of just sit and take everything in.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Echo, but where if she's like slightly like further ahead, I'm probably just like sitting against a wall and just like watching.
Okay.
Just because I know the spot, I know where we are, and I'm kind of like, all right, we'll see.
Okay. All right. So, Steel and Biscuit, as you all head out of the captain's quarters, and you start to head below deck, you enter the familiar area that was the Warforged workshop within this ship. And as you look around, none of the parts of Warforged or any of the tools or anything are here. All you see are what look like makeshift cots set up throughout the room. But you do notice that there are no cots or anything set up in the area where that large Warforged was chained to the wall prior. That area, because you're instantly drawn to it for some reason, you notice is completely void of anything. Almost as if it's completely cloaked in darkness. You are muted, Steel.
I'm gonna just stare into it for a little while, and then I'm gonna lay down on a cot.
Okay. What do you have in Biscuit do?
He's just gonna jump up and sit on the near the feet of the bed of the cot.
Okay. So as you
Just staring.
Okay, so as you stare into the corner, you get flashbacks to the dream that you had about a month and a half or so ago of looking into the face of this giant Warforged when its eyes glared red and it jumped through the side of the ship out into the Moonlands. And it almost starts to replay in your head 3 or 4 times before you actually lay down. Anything else you would like to do before you pass out?
Nope.
Okay. Taryn,
Yes.
what are you going off to do?
Okay, well, I'm going back into my my command corner.
Okay, where you initially set yourself up. That was the pilot's nest, I think, right?
No, I'm I'm going back to the corner. It was Halceris, right? Or Steel, yeah.
Yeah.
When Echo and I were when I was trying to battle Echo.
Yeah, so that was that's right outside of the captain's quarters. Probably about 20 or 30 feet in front of that is the entry to where the pilot's nest was. And right in that area in between is where you all had your little
and then-
conflict over a certain item or a certain weapon that Echo was carrying.
Yeah,
As Echo
and then-
back then carried a double-bladed scimitar which to the Valinor elves is a sacred item that only somebody within that family should possess.
Yeah. Now
Yes.
she's not using it anymore. But then with that little spat, Halceres, it was a command spell, right?
Was
Halceres commanded Tyrion to go in the corner.
Yes.
And so I'm going back to the corner that I went to.
Okay.
And first thing, I'm gonna sit down, cross my legs, and I want to check those books out before I do anything else.
Okay, the books that you picked up from the chest
Yeah.
last week, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so as you start to look through the books, you picked up 4 books. 3 of the books, as you start to look through them, are just filled with names and numbers, almost representing like coinage.
A ledger.
So looking through these, it looks like they are ledgers for the tavern.
Yes. All right.
So there's 3 of those. And then you get to the last book. And on the cover of the last book, you see the words risotto and you. And as you open it up, you start to flip through. It almost appears to be a cookbook on different rice recipes.
Tyrion lights up. For a split second, all the shadows turn to light. Because he's found basically what is the holy grail for risotto. And he jumps up.
So give me an investigation check real quick, though, with this book.
I'll give you an investigation check right now.
Roll a wisdom save.
Why?
No, I'm kidding.
What'd you get?
Got a 9.
Okay. Yeah, no. So, yeah, you've got a cookbook titled Risotto and You.
I pull it close to my chest and I look around to see if anyone's looking, and I slowly put the book into the bag, and I'm going to look at it again later.
Okay. All right, so what else are you doing?
Warren is going to start to meditate / do his little trance.
Okay. So you start to go and do your little trance. And we're going to come back to that in a little bit. Halceres, what are you doing?
Yeah, starting with because we were in the captain's quarters, but I think I would first look to the cockpit,
The pilot's nest, yep.
the pilot's nest, and I would look inside, and I think, yeah, seeing my history with the ship, seeing its wreckage, and now seeing it in this quasi state that it is in, I think I am literally just like going through it and just like looking for markers that I know would be in the ship. Like the stairs here have like so many steps, and like going down where I think so. It's like probably an hour of me just walking through the ship. Just
Okay. Go ahead, give me an investigation check.
nat 20.
Nice. All
darn.
right.
22 total.
So 22 total. So as you go through the ship, this is all just, it's almost like a deja vu in a way. It's all slowly coming back. You go into the pilot's nest and you see the cracked control displays on the side of the wall, and then they kind of phase a little bit like everything else is, and then they're not broken. Then they phase and they're broke, and it kind of goes back and forth. You start to go down to the underbelly of the ship, and it's the same thing as you go. This phasing back and forth. Every once in a while, you catch just a very fading glimpse of what was there before. The large cargo bay with all the Warforged strapped to the walls. You'll see the Warforged in your peripherals. Then as you turn and look head on, it's not there anymore. this is definitely the same ship you were on, even though you have seen the wreckage. As if a certain portion of the ship was ripped from it once it went through that dead gray mist.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it is just a fair amount of that, and then I think I go out and I know that from the captain's quarters, from the nest, there is a trap door that goes down.
Yes.
So I think as I go from there down around the ship and then come back to the same area where they are all the kids are all here, and I slump next to Ro.
Okay.
Just kind of like leaning against the wall and then slump down, sitting and just looking ahead, shaking my head. We saw this ship split in half, everything broken. But this is the same ship.
Sure. There's no chance that we're wrong.
If this is some sort of elaborate copy, they have done all of their homework. This is the same ship.
What would the point be?
I find that the more I try to see reason in this place, the more I am befuddled.
That's for sure.
I do not know if there is a reason. It's possible the same reason that Cerberus above chose us. Maybe he has chosen Sebastian to lead these souls. I'll gesture to like the ghost crew that I imagine is still just on the decks walking around.
Yeah. So all the crew, as you are kind of going through, they don't seem to be paying you any mind. They're just going about doing what they need to do.
And I don't get any bleeps from them, right? Because it's 10 minutes on this spell.
Yeah,
so.
no.
I feel like I'm in a particularly strange dream, bordering on a nightmare, but all the creatures in it are really nice.
I'm not sure that is a nightmare. That is, I have no idea what that is. But it is interesting though. Well, how far away is Echo?
Yeah, I was literally about to ask. I was like, what is the distance between Echo and Halceris and Ro?
I'd say you're probably Ro.
Like
You were staying nearby Echo, right?
Like not close by. Like I can see her from wherever I'm sitting, but I'm just kind of like I'm not like in her vicinity necessarily.
I mean,
I was gonna ask, am I like in earshot of their conversation?
Vaguely, yeah. You can kind of.
That's fine. That's all I want.
Yep.
I will then, seeing Echo out there, seeing Tavern in his corner, gushing over some book. Not sure what he's doing.
Echo is actually turned away, and she's like doing something in the corner. By the way.
Okay. Well, so we'll actually go ahead and pause then with you, Halceris, real quick, so we can go to Echo and what Echo's doing.
Great. Okay, so after having heard Sebastian talk about purpose of rescuing people, and he said hope, and as soon as he said that, she just lit up from the inside, and all she started to see was sort of like light blue of just like amazement and awe of everything that's happening. And so she just kind of goes to the corner and sits down, pops herself down. She can vaguely hear whatever Halceris and I can vaguely hear what Ro and Halceris are saying, but I'm kind of like it's like mumbling in the background, you know, because I'm just in my own mind of like, wow, maybe it's nice to see that I'm not the only person who feels that our purpose of saving people or helping people is really making a difference. And then I realize where I am, even though I chose to sit there, and I look in the corner and I just whip out my dagger and I start to carve into like the wall. Just all right. I'm gonna write first. I'm gonna write Echo was here. Just
As one does. Yes.
yeah, but it's like obviously not spelled correctly. It's like WUZ, like just terrible.
Yeah.
And then
Teen slang.
and then like slightly later, I mean slightly distant from where I wrote that, I'm just gonna write hope is not lost, and just leave it at that and just stare at it for a little bit.
Okay. All right, Halceris, so now you come up to Echo.
Oh, I wasn't going to go up to her.
Oh, okay.
I just see her. But I was
Yeah.
going to surveying the two of them and like seeing where Echo was. Yeah, that was where they had their first spat, right?
Yep. I figured I'd hang out in case there was a rematch.
You know, when that happened, we all did not know each other that well. But I caught a glimpse of the true you in that moment too.
What do you mean?
We did not know each other. In the moment of crisis, the ship falling, enemies abound, I left to look at the engine room because I feel that I could do work there. I thought to avert a crisis, but you leapt to Echo's protection.
I it's a little hard not to. She's just so sunshiny.
It's also okay. You have a good heart, bro. You are. I know. I'm going to sitting next to her. I'm going to put my hand on her hand. I know this is going to be hard for you to hear. You are a good person, and you are very brave. I respect more so than myself your instinct to protect someone that you thought needed your help. That instinct I respect much higher than I respect my own say analytics, because to help was not my first priority. To stop the ship was mine. But it takes someone with a good heart to protect people first.
I feel like most of the times that I've ever needed to be brave, I run. I don't think that I've ever felt brave. I think part of why I always wanted to be good at defending myself, to be good with weapons, to be good at fighting. I think I am scared all the time.
Of course, being brave is not the absence of fear. Being afraid is the most natural thing for all living beings. Fear is what pushes you to survive. But acting in spite of that fear, that is bravery.
Well, in that case, you're not too bad yourself. I mean, you spend a lot of time patching us up when we're reckless, and I think you and Steel both keep us grounded. And I think that especially over the last, I have no sense of time, so a few weeks, I suppose, I think there is so much sadness in you that you don't show us. And I think that that's a whole other kind of brave and a kind of strength that some of us haven't had to learn.
Echo is, I pushed for this trip because Echo hopes that her family is there to find. I speak quieter so that
I heard Echo and I was like, yeah, I thought you were
Exactly.
calling me.
So here's the thing, Echo. When he said the word hope, it was as if he was standing right next to you.
I'm like looking around. But they're still
And-
talking away. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
to have, I would do a great deal to put a period on the end of that sentence of hope, of finding an answer is more important to me than if it is a happy ending or not. To live with a reckless hope. Hope is fickle, and it can be good, but without reason, hope will drive you mad and blind you to what is in front of you. I would do. Thank you for saying I do much, but I would do a great deal more if it meant that you all did not have to experience that kind of corrupted hope.
At this point, I'll like kind of like shuffle around so that I'm facing Halceris and just. Are you sure that you don't have any of that? Because there's got to be something. There's some reason that you have been constantly reminded of what you've lost in a way that doesn't seem normal.
I think that is true of all of us.
I mean, people are just trying to kill me, and that's pretty standard. But I think there's more. Out of character, real quick. Did you tell us about the dream? I think you did.
I believe I haven't told you about Catalina. You
Yeah.
know that the woman you saw when we drove by was my wife.
Okay. So we don't know the thing that you saw, the thing.
Not really.
Okay. Well, in that case, So I think there's always hope. The hope might not necessarily be finding something lost, but it could be finding peace.
I agree with you. And this is what I hope for Echo. Like you say, she is much sunshine. And I believe after 100 years of this war, people like her and people like you, and people like Tavern, who can still feel such abandon and hope, is a gift that should be protected at all costs.
And I'm gonna like, and then just like throw my arms around him and hug him. And I'm just gonna kind of just like sort of muffled, just be like, I think you should have hope too. I don't think we can do that without you having hope too. And then I'm gonna let go and just kind of like,
So before you let go,
okay. Okay.
Taryn, going back to you real quick. So you start to go into your trance. What are you doing as you go into your trance?
I would like to call for Carson.
Okay, so within your trance, you start to call out to your bonded ancestor, Carson. And as your vision darkens within your trance, you almost awaken to standing on a cliffside, overlooking a vast, just green area. And you see in the small distance a small village that you are very familiar with. It is the village of Moonshadow, where you grew up. And then you turn around as you hear a voice behind you. And you see not so much as a familiar face anymore. You know this is your bonded ancestor, Carson. But where he once had long black hair, his hair is now pulled back neatly in a ponytail. And it's a platinum blonde color. His dark, shadowy eyes are now a blue-gray. He is no longer cloaked in shadows. And he moves with a fervent step towards you. In his hand, he is holding a very familiar item. The double-bladed scimitar that belonged to your friend, Echo. And before we get into this conversation, we're going to go ahead and take a short break.
Boy, is he.
So quite a bit of lore coming out so far tonight. Had some very emotional moments, which is nice. Having some fun with this one tonight. It's a much calmer session than the last few weeks have been, with all the constant death around every corner. So what are you all thinking so far?
A treat to watch.
Woo!
So much
Heavy,
fun.
heavy.
Oh,
Yeah.
My watch is telling my heart rate's too fast.
And I haven't even put you through any trauma.
You don't have to. It's okay. Let this be like a chill session.
So no trauma tonight.
No.
Just
Just-
feelings.
Just
Just
a
feeling.
standard chill sesh on a ghost pirate ship flying in the sky.
Okay,
Just
so
a
y'all,
standard A to B.
so when we come back from break, y'all don't want no trauma. You just want just feelings.
Just talk.
just feelings. Okay, we'll see what we can do about it. I might have to rewrite a few things.
Oh, whoop.
But no. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. I need to get some fresh water, stretch our legs a little bit before we go ahead and take off. Go to some announcements. So we got a few quick announcements for everyone.
In all of the feelings, don't get so caught up that you don't remember that we are giving away an epic character avatar fantasy starter bundle and 3 free packs from Overhead Games. You have to type !epic in chat, and the raffle is live now. So you have to be a follower to enter, and you have to be present in chat for the staff to contact you if you win. We'll continue to take entries until the end of stream when we pick a winner, but it's super, super important that you're there when they pick a winner, because otherwise you don't get the prize and then the whole thing defeats the purpose. So raffle, woo!
Raffle, woo.
Yep. So then we got a few I think commercials or something we're going to be running through during the break, but we will be back here in just a few short minutes. We'll see y'all again soon.
Later.
Company at last. Come, show your face.
When I was born, they said that I would have the rage of 1,000 storms within me.
It's all right. I didn't like that brother very much anyway.
Just cannot get any worse than this, right?
Have you noticed? It never really gets light enough here. Sometimes the shadows are going the wrong way.
There's a loud psst sound as steam rushes from the vat, and the door slowly swings open. This vile ooze just pouring out as you can see this elongated human figure slowly extend and reach out. This motionless eyes just now fixated on the group.
Okay, what the hell?
I'm done with this place. I need to go home.
I can't go home, but I also I don't want to stay here. 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 I don't want to stay here.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Done with our quick break. Right before we went off for a few minutes, we had a nice group feeling session going on. Just getting a little bit of emotion out there, some talk of hope and fear and courage, and just understanding this ship that they were on and having that conversation with their old friend Sebastian to see what's been going on over the last 2 years and what's up with this mysterious Moonlands. But right before we went on our break, Ro had embraced Halceris in a nice tight hug after their little conversation. Very awkwardly and uncomfortably, I'd probably say.
It was wonderful.
Then we switched over to Tavern, who, going into his trance, was trying to make contact with his bonded ancestor, Carson, who appeared on a cliffside overlooking Moonshadow, the village that Tavern himself had grown up in. When Carson showed up, not looking like himself as Carson or as Tavern was used to seeing him, but now showing up with a platinum blonde hair, some blue-gray eyes, no more shadows wisping around him, carrying the same double-bladed scimitar that Echo has had since the beginning of their adventures. So Taryn, as Carson comes walking up to you, so I see that you decided to finally accept my offerings.
Well, first of all, I like your look. It's very chic. It's out there.
You know,
I dig it.
It's comfortable. This is how I was back in the day.
Yeah.
So, what, may I ask, graces me with your presence? What is it you seek from me?
Why can't I just come and see you, Carson? Why does it have to be that I want something?
This is the first time. This is the first time
but-
you have ever called for me.
Because yeah, I want something, but
Then what is it I can do for you?
Carson, I need answers. Plain and simple.
You need answers.
I need answers. I need help.
Okay. I will give you answers. But you may not like the answers you receive. Ask your first question, Taryn.
First of all, what is it that you're so desperate for me to do? What do you need me for?
You, Taryn, the first of my ascendants that I've been allowed to bond with. You must go and help correct that which has been misunderstood for centuries. People think that I'm a betrayer and a murderer. But the truth behind my actions has been hidden. I wish for you to seek it out and let the truth finally be told.
So, all you wanted me to do this entire time is to tell your story, to tell your truth.
Not just my truth, but our truth. For the Valinor elves live in lies. Our ancestry is a lot more complicated than people believe. The truth must come out, and it must be you or another to bring that knowledge to light.
And would the other be the supposed daughter that I have?
Oh, there's no supposed daughter. She exists. And she's almost to the age where she will soon be bonded to an ancestor as well. And if it wasn't going to be you to complete this mission, I was going to plead to our ancestors to let me bond with her as well. That maybe she may bring this to light. Your
So-
ancestors are not what you think, Taryn.
So, if all you need for me to do is to bring the light to the truth of the Valinor elves, I think that's simple enough that I can accomplish. But I want you to understand something, Carson.
What is it you want me to understand, Taryn?
If you help me fight or lend me your knowledge, your skills, I'll gladly do this. But I need you to know that I'm not willing to do anything that'll bring harm to my family, the friends that I found.
As you say that, Taryn, you see two figures start to materialize behind Carson. Both of them are currently in a hugging embrace. As Ro and Halceris, you two find yourself on this cliffside, looking up on the scene.
Is it like a arms around, eyes closed, open up, and we're here kind of thing?
Yep.
I
Awesome.
promise I did not cast a spell.
Well, you're not a plant, so
So, this family?
Carson,
Taryn?
what are you doing?
Or maybe this one. As you see, laying on the ground in the nice grass and the warm sunlight, Steel, you materialize onto this ground, basking in the warm sunlight. Perhaps him.
Carson,
Do you react at all, Steel?
Do I wake up?
You do, yeah. You do.
Roll over.
So
Like some vitamin D, nice.
you had laid down in your cot, and then all of a sudden, you know how when like the sunlight hits you, your eyes are still closed, but you can still see the light through your eyelids, and you feel the warmth of a nice warm sun on you, which definitely should not be happening where you're currently at. You open your eyes and you're looking up at a nice clear sky.
I said,
Now starting to move towards twilight at the moment.
Is Biscuit still with me?
No.
Priorities.
Okay.
Carson,
I just look up and I look for Biscuit. And I'm like, okay.
Carson,
William to steal.
I didn't call you here to play games. What are
No
you
games,
doing?
huh? No games. So perhaps this one. And over next to a tree, you see the figure of Echo materialize with a small dagger in her hand, carving into the side of the tree the word hope. And Echo, you just find yourself all of a sudden stop as you were carving into a tree on this cliffside.
I turn around.
You turn around and you see the scene laid before you as the rest of your crew seem to be very taken aback by their current location.
I pinch myself like to check if I'm dreaming or something. It's not a dream.
And
I stand up and I'm gonna stand next to Halceris.
Okay. Echo, you notice that this figure standing next to Taryn is holding your double-bladed scimitar.
Who has the bag of holding?
Steel does.
How far is Steel from me?
15 feet.
I'm gonna walk over to him and we're not dreaming, right? Like this isn't what we've experienced before. Or do you also not know what's going on?
I was asleep, and so I don't. Maybe I don't know.
Okay. Do you have that bag that holds all that stuff in it on you?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
And I look into it and I slowly, because Seal has told me not to rip the insides, I kind of gently peer and see if it's
So
in there.
you looking into it, you can't see anything.
I go. What are you looking for?
That.
Right, and I think of the double-bladed scimitar.
Okay. And your hand grasps it and you slowly pull it out of the bag.
And are they the exact? I mean, I don't know the distance if I can tell, but are they like
So
the
it
exact
looks completely identical. And you see a small little smirk on Carson's face as he looks over at you, kind of does a sideward glance towards you, Taryn. This is the family you're talking about?
Amongst others.
Are there others now?
You know that only someone of our bloodline should be carrying that sword.
Listen.
I look right at Echo.
I can't imagine why.
I'm just like, he doesn't know.
Like I give her the look like you didn't tell him.
Chance.
You as well as I know that yes, the bloodline of those of us, the elves of Valinor, of our bloodline, we wield that weapon. But you also know that those deemed worthy are allowed to wield them. Now this isn't your decision to make, to decide who's worthy.
That weapon was passed down through generations of our family. That was my weapon.
Oh no, Carson, it's hers.
Who is she and what has she done? As he takes his and just kind of points at the double-bladed scimitar towards Echo.
I raise a crossbow at him.
Yeah.
I raise my hand. I step in
It's
front.
been a while since I've used this.
I step in front, like between him and the group.
Okay.
And I raise my hand to them as a gesture of, chill out, guys. I got this. Hopefully. Yeah. So I step between them and just raise a hand.
What has she done to prove she's worthy to wield my weapon?
What hasn't she done? Carson?
It's not how this works, Taryn.
How it works. What have you done to be worthy of wielding the scimitar?
I brought the truth to light. And then
Yes,
I
but-
failed
And you
to
failed.
maintain that truth.
So you lost.
I lost.
And that's exactly what I'm hearing. Everything
That-
Echo's done. Everything.
She is not of our blood.
And I'm telling you, it matters not. Then the Viceroy appears in my hand,
Okay.
but I'm not brandishing or anything. It's just there, just in case he wants to get scrappy.
Okay. Give
Makes
me
you think.
one reason why you should not take that weapon from her right now.
I look back at the group. Then I look at the tree. And I turn back to Carson. And I say, hope.
Hope. What does hope have to do with anything?
Hope it has to do with everything. We lost. We failed to keep the light on the truth.
Hope
And
is fickle. Hope will drive you mad. Hope will bring you to your end, as it did me.
brought you to your end. Maybe because your hope wasn't strong enough. Hope costs nothing. Echo is the type to give everything, and she hopes for.
Echo.
That is a reason why she's worthy and you're not.
Echo, you notice that the handle on the double-bladed scimitar that you are currently holding is starting to get a little warmer. Not uncomfortable, but it is just almost like it's slightly heating up.
Okay. I'm just gonna assume to me that it's like my sweat and like my hand heat, so I'm not gonna react as right.
Okay. What is it you all see in Tavern? He talks of this hope, but what has he really done for all of you?
It doesn't matter. Being one of us doesn't mean he has to do anything. He's just one of us.
So he looks at you, Ro. You two don't get along. You always argue. You always fight. Why is it that you trust him?
The arguing is mostly just for show. Every time he's had to have my back, he's had it.
He's
And
been
you.
there for us.
And then he looks at you, Halceris. You could have been a great one of us, but your path diverged. What is it that you see in this young Tavern?
I stand up a little bit taller, but I'm still a very short man. I look at him, I take a step forward and I say, forgive me, your ways are not known to me very well, but you are his bonded ancestor, yes?
Yes.
You, while not being, you are blood, but I look at you and see hardly family. If you were any family to Terran, you would see that he has boundless potential. If he only had, he has the stubbornness that comes with young age. And one day, when he grows old enough to get out of his own way, he will shine far greater than you ever did.
Now he looks at you, Steel. Says, you make weapons for Terran. When he has the weapon, he should hold right there. Why?
has put himself in harm's way for us 3-4 times, taking himself to the brink of death. I
Yes.
make weapons so that others can defend themselves and care for each other. I made him what he wanted, what he wished for. You wish only to give him what you want to push on him. You don't see Tyrann. You see your selfish desire, and that is all.
I see. And you. As he just kind of lowers his gaze a little bit towards you, Echo.
Trying to avoid eye contact.
What makes you think that you are worthy to wield my weapon? The weapon that's been passed down through the ages of our family.
Tyrann deemed me worthy. He's my teacher, he's my friend, and he's someone I really trust. So his word is as good as any. If he said I'm worthy of this weapon, which I haven't been using for a while because of you, actually.
I
But
know.
I still feel connected to it.
What
because of
kind of
him.
connection could you possibly have?
You might want to check yourself there, sir. We might know some information you don't.
Yeah. What?
And what would that be?
Eyebrow raise.
I don't think these two
Wait.
are
What?
so far apart.
I don't know if we want to say that right now.
I don't.
Don't worry.
I
Don't.
think
No,
we
no.
need to know.
What?
I think that's a conversation that Tara and I need to have. Just-
I agree. I'm just saying you might want to check
So,
your assumptions. She came by that weapon from her family. It was passed down to her. You might want to think that through.
at this point, he looks very confused, and he's just not threateningly, but he slowly starts taking a couple walks towards you, Echo. A couple steps.
What's the situation with the temperature of the scimitar, by the way?
So it's still warm, getting a little warmer in your hand.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Alceris is also visibly confused. No idea about
Everyone
that
just has
stuff.
a question mark next to their head. Yeah.
Yeah. Because let's see. So the only people that know right now that there is a shared bloodline is Echo and Steel.
Yep.
Pretty sure.
Okay. Just making sure.
Ro definitely doesn't know anything. I just was like, I don't think we should tell him anything.
Right. But he just the scimitar that he's holding, he actually puts away as he starts to approach you, Echo.
I'm gonna take my whip out and just kind of get like shift a little bit in the way.
I'm visibly like nervous that he's coming, so I'm just gonna be like, Mr. Carson, sir, that how do you have one that's identical to the one that I'm holding? Just curious. So, as he like comes closer and closer.
This was my weapon, and yet you have it. I got it from my dad, and then Tyrann and I trained with it, and then well, I haven't been using it because of you. Doesn't that count for something? Curious. As he starts to look closer into your eyes, you see him almost kind of contemplating for a second, kind of tilting his head a little bit as if he's just trying to figure something out.
My vision starts to go orange. I'm just like,
Okay. You're one of them.
One of what?
And he kind of shakes his head and backs up. You're of the same bloodline.
Huh?
How do you know that?
I can communicate with our ancestors.
What do they say?
It's far removed line, but and he just kind of stops and turns around, starts walking towards the edge of the cliff with his back to you.
I'm slapping Rose's hand like by the side, like what's going on?
Sharon is visibly confused as he looks at
Another
Carson.
question mark appears.
He looks at Carson. I look at Carson, and then I look at Echo. Squint my eyes, and then I look back at Carson to hear what else he has to say.
So you see Carson kind of walk up to the edge of the cliff, looking out over the land, and his eyes just kind of roll into the back of his head, and his eyes start to go black.
That's creepy.
Trick.
Ain't nobody does that.
And then after a few moments, his eyes snap back to normal, and he turns around and looks at you, Taryn. She is of our blood.
Well, that answers a lot of your questions. Well, gives you more, but I suppose the whole is she worthy now?
This goes all the way back to Trogark.
Sorry, goes where what?
To Trogark. Trogark.
And who, pray tell, is Trogark?
Trogark was one of the shadow giants.
Those are things.
So, to all of you, you have never heard of a shadow giant before.
Oh, let me make a roll. Come on, I gotta go to history.
You go ahead and make a roll. Go ahead.
DC 35.
Let me make a roll.
What were the statues that we saw?
So it was hard to tell. It looked
They were
like it was a
ruined.
fire giant,
No.
but it was definitely a giant.
11. No.
11. Yeah, no. Trogark is one of the most ancient ancestors in our line. He is the one that brought to light a lot of our ancestral issues. Interesting. As he just kind of looks again back out over the landscape. What are y'all doing?
I approach. Well, what's everybody else doing?
Well, I'm
First,
just gonna
so.
peek over and be like, so does this mean you don't hate me anymore?
He just kind of turns his head kind of to the side, looking back at you. This leaves me with many more questions than answers.
I can deal with questions. I just, you're kind of coming a little strong earlier. I just want to make sure that we're cool. And that you and Tyrion are cool too.
He looks very taken aback by this, like he has no clue how to respond.
I don't either.
And, but you do get. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Echo.
Oh,
I know you weren't right. You weren't ready for that.
I didn't realize
Your
what
magical
roll.
23
I was
comes
genuinely
in.
just being like, were you okay? 18.
Okay, so with an 18, you catch almost a slight twitch in his corner of his mouth, where he almost gives like a little smile.
Okay, so I'll just note that means he's not super pissed anymore. It's fine. It's fine. We're good.
I think the other three of us are kind of in letting them go off, talk like a few feet away, but then it's like a me and Ro turn to steel. Like, what the heck you do? What's going on? What the heck?
A lot of things happen in the Moonlands, guys. Come on.
Look at the hair.
It wasn't really my thing to tell, but in this situation, I kind of thought this might benefit us a little bit, and it paid off. I'm sorry. And I'm going to walk up to Echo. I'm sorry. That was, yeah, I just thought you might need some help there on that one.
Oh, no, it's okay. I guess it kind of came in handy at the right moment. I mean, for all we know, he could have, like, chopped off my head. So I'm glad kind of saved myself with that.
I didn't want to give anything away, but I didn't know if he had a way of knowing. So
no,
I didn't want to tell him outright, but
it's okay. I mean, the conversation was overdue anyways, even though we didn't really have time to talk about it. So we'll get there.
We'll talk about it in detail.
Yeah.
Another time. Yeah. Okay.
But I just have so many more questions. I just and I want to kind of like I just like kind of mumble like I have so many questions. Like, I don't know what's going on, and like kind of wander away towards.
Do you have the book? Echo, do you have the book with you?
I thought you had it.
Yeah, no, okay. Then I'll get it out of the bag holding.
Do you want it? Wait, I mean,
take it with you. See if it helps.
As you pull the book out, Carson just swings around, looking straight at you, and looking straight at the book.
I didn't kind of want to show it to him. Okay.
You don't have to.
Yeah, but look how he's looking at us. Like that's how he's looking at us before when he was approaching me, and just.
I will put the book back in the bag of holding if you
want. Just.
Okay.
I want some answers from him before we show him that.
Hold on a second.
I don't think so. It goes in the bag of holding.
It just. I mean, why don't we trade information? Not that this has to be some sort of business deal, of course, now that we've discovered that I'm kind of related to you, but...
I would say you probably owe Echo and Tyrion a little bit of your time before we get into that.
That we can do. As you see the sun starting to set over the horizon behind him.
I'm gonna go catch the others up. Okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm looking all serious, like, do you feel left out? I feel left out.
I know how we feel when you were hugging it out.
I'm gonna go back over and I'm gonna be like, so the book we found is a thing, and basically the only people who could read it are people who share a bloodline.
You mean the book that had the runes in it?
Yeah. The two of them can read it, so they have to share a bloodline with the caster who made it.
Do you think this shadow giant?
I think that's the language that it's written in, is shadow giant. But by bringing it up in front of Carson, he told us who we're looking for to find out maybe who wrote this, or at least who put the spell on it.
Yes, just a light social tap with a 12-pound sledgehammer. It's good. Really tap it in there. It's nice.
I mean, sometimes that's what you need. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know that I needed to be hit with a sledgehammer, but
It wasn't really meant for you, but I mean, the timing was right, and it paid dividends, so sorry.
I'll say it is fine. No secrets. Ro hugged
It wasn't meant to be a secret. It was just...
and then like we can transition back to the others, but it was just like in the sense of no secrets. Ro hugged me.
All right.
Just as an FYI.
Echo and Taryn.
Oh man.
Carson is just kind of looking off over the cliff towards the sunset now, trying to almost in a serious contemplation.
So yeah, I walk up and the viceroy disappears into the shadows. So I walk up and I stand next to him. And I say, look, I've spent half of my life denying your existence and running away from everything that you are or was. But I see now that you're a part of me. So in turn, I was actually running away from myself. So I've decided to accept you. Accept your past, our present, and our future. With a hand on his shoulder.
He kind of looks at that, then he looks over at you, Echo.
So as soon as Tyrion says that, I'm like, I only knew of your existence probably a little while ago. It's nice to formally meet you. My name is Echo. You're Mr. Carson, because Tyrion has talked about you a few times. I hope that now that we kind of share some sort of common bloodline, that we can be friends, or you can kind of show us the way. I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to harbor any negative feelings towards you. I feel like there's probably some.
He's very just intently looking at you as if he's studying you, Echo. Then he looks at you, Taryn. If you are finally willing to accept me and accept my aid, then perhaps I must be willing to accept your choices. He pulls out the double-bladed scimitar again, and he actually puts his hand out with it towards you, Echo.
For me to take?
And he just kind of nods to you.
Take it from him.
So as you take it, the other one, because you had the one in your one hand that was getting warmer, the one that was getting warmer just fades away.
Oh.
As you're now holding this one that Carson just gave you.
Oh.
Don't know how it ended up with you, but if we share a bloodline, maybe. And you see him glance over at the tree that you came in front of, and you see the letters that you had carved into the side of the tree, spelling out the word hope, start to slowly glow. Maybe there is hope after all. And with that, the sky has turned to night with a clear sky. You see the stars all popped in different areas, and all of you see the form of Halcera start to just fade away and turn into small little pinpricks of light as they shoot up into the sky.
Out again!
And looking up where these pinpricks of light hit the sky, it almost looks like it's making some sort of constellation in the symbol of the sovereign host. And then shortly after that, Steel starts to do the same thing. And he goes up, and the pinpricks there form what looks like some sort of wrench in the sky. And then Ro fades out into these pinpricks as well and goes up and forms what looks to be a wooden spoon.
You can tell the material of it. That's amazing.
And then you see Carson look at you, Echo. Keep him safe. And then you start to fade out as well. Go up, and Taryn, you see the pinpricks of light from Echo form what looks like a large claw in the sky. Then Carson looks at you. Go seek the answers in the library of the Drow. And with that, you see him fade out and turn into these stars that float up to the sky. And then you come out of your trance, waking up the next morning.
Before I come out of the trance, I'm just there. I'm just there on the cliffside, and I look up, see all the constellations. I said, we're all stars, and even those who have fallen has their uses. And then wake up.
I say, I'm still here for you, Simba.
Yo!
Oh, just a coincidence. Just a
I
coincidence.
preempted it. Remember.
And with that, you all find yourselves waking up after a nice long rest. A few of you disorientated because the last thing you remembered before going into this was hugging it out on the deck of the ship. But you now find yourselves laying down in a cot.
Oh, good.
Okay. Morning.
I pull out the
Hi.
risotto book
Weird
first
dream.
thing.
Weird dream.
That really happened.
Of course,
Oh,
it really
it wasn't a
happened.
dream?
No, it's not a dream. It really happened. Yeah.
Hey, Echo, you still got the sword?
The sword, like the scimitar?
Yeah.
Is
Is it
it
still
on
in
me?
your
I don't know
hands?
what was it in the
No,
bag?
it's not.
Oh, it's not on me.
I reach into the bag and I grab it.
You pull it out.
And I hold it. And is the warmth there, or is it like?
It is. And you actually, looking at it now, you start to see what almost looks like some runes etched into the handle of the scimitar.
Ooh. Spicy.
They're runes that were not there before.
Does it seem to be giving off any kind of magical aura that I can sense?
No.
Okay.
Does it give off a familial aura that I can sense?
It smells like the musty insides of a bag of holding.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it's a pocket. It's a pocket dimension to nowhere.
exactly.
So.
Yeah. So you don't get that familiar smell of like the pocketbook.
This smells like a pocket dimension. Echo, you should probably do something about that. Yeah.
Tyrion, I mean, after we eat, because it's clearly been a long day and night. Do you want to maybe spar in that spot to kind of make new memories there?
Of course. As I pop open the book of risotto, the risotto and you book. After I read this.
So you all see the book that Taryn pops open now. Right on the cover, you see risotto and you.
Oh.
I see it and I go, what is that? And I twist too quick and I slept in my armor, so my back just like spasms. It's like, oh,
Oh, are you okay?
Back down, back down.
I close the book. We go to help.
Well, I guess it's about time we made some coffee. Hold on just a sec. I'm gonna hold up a little piece of that little piece of black, and I'm gonna go. Come on back, and I set it down, and it turns into cafe.
Cafe has returned.
Cafe.
Hello.
I'm gonna go make some breakfast.
Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar, Cafe is a homunculus servant that, go ahead and describe what he looks like, because he may look a little differently now.
Well, he is jet black, and he is a raven, he was cobbled together from parts. So the base was a coffee pot with like the little pointed front on it. It's kind of curved now, a little bit more raven-like. It's been honed a little bit. And he looks a little bit more realistic than previously, but still kind of boxy. But yeah, and he takes off, and does a little loop around, flies for a bit, and then once I get heat source started, he's gonna sit down and make us some coffee.
Right. And so you all start to prepare yourselves a small meal in this very shifting ship as the various crew continue to walk around the ship, trying to go about their normal chores. You can still hear the wind above decks kind of going as the ship sails through the air.
I'm gonna quickly make a special breakfast for the kids. You guys get 3 temporary hit points.
There's smiley face pancakes. Very special.
See, and my favorite part about that though is the oldest person in the group is one of the kids.
Yeah, but in elf years.
Yeah.
I get Brandon some Brandon Halceris. I get Halceris some no
Pet names.
Honey, sweetheart, Brandon.
You have another secret to tell us?
Get some bran flakes.
You
For
laugh
digestion.
now, but
Some
it's
extra
good for
fiber.
regularity. You will be in my place soon.
You give him some of that special yogurt.
Some grape nuts and some
Okay. What are you making for breakfast?
No raisin bran, please.
No.
Sweetness
The
of raisins.
my the good breakfast is gonna be I will make I see in the book I'll make breakfast risotto. I might as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Not until I learn the secrets of the risotto.
Give me a perception check real quick, Steele.
All right, 15.
So with a 15, as you kind of glance over the book, you look, and on the first inside page, you see the authors of the book. The authors are Steel Dargrist and Echo.
What you saying now?
Wait, what?
The authors of the book.
Hey, how'd you get an advance copy? I didn't authorize that.
Authorize.
Hey.
See what you did there?
Now that that's been said, that's been pointed out, I look through the book and see and find that one specific Thursday night risotto recipe.
Which one is that?
That's the one with what did I say? The crushed peppers?
Yep,
The
dried
pepper
chilies.
flakes. The chili flakes.
Chilies, yeah.
The dry
Dry
chili-
heat, wet heat.
It
As you-
specifically says dry heat and no wet heat this time, and I look up slowly.
Well, so as you look at that recipe in this book as well, you see just above it at the top, favorited by Tavern.
Dun,
Do I see them all like hovering over the book?
Do you guys talk out loud about these discoveries?
Because I'm gonna like start like kind of just like
I
and
mean,
then
you
I'm
see-
like, what are we looking at?
Hey,
and I look for Rose's favorite recipe.
Hold on. Check to see if there's any editor's credits or
About the author.
Yeah.
So you don't see anything like that in there.
Nothing in the back of the book. You know,
So-
this book was dedicated to.
As you start to go through it, you look and about the last maybe 15 pages or so of this book are blank.
So I gotta look
Going
up.
back in time. Sorry.
You guys didn't finish the book. Why didn't you finish the book?
We haven't finished whatever we're doing yet. I haven't even thought about making a book, but you know, hey.
Who finished what? What? What?
I give the book to Ro.
I was really,
my
I was,
recipe.
I was nearly certain there was gonna be a credit to Halceris for proofreading and editing and.
No, it's actually written in the dedication pages to House.
Dedication.
Thank you for always
Like in-
believing in our recipes.
In memoriam, like what?
No. It's like dedicated to House Cyrus for believing in our recipes.
I like snap it shut and I just like hand it back to Tyrion and I'm like,
So, Ro, as you were flipping through, you found one. If I recall, it was about having peas in
This
risotto. Was one of the ones that had your name on the page.
yeah. So I'm gonna see my name and be like,
Except, it doesn't have the name Ro.
What name does it have?
Natalia Devereaux.
Natalia. That's such a beautiful name. Why didn't
Okay,
you-
hold. Can I see that? Well, I suppose you don't say anything. Taryn, do you mind if I look?
I mean, Ro has. I didn't want the book anymore. So Ro has it.
I take it. Is this book, as I flip through pages, is handwritten
No,
or is printed?
it looks like print.
Any markings in cover or anything of publishing house?
Go ahead, give me a investigation check.
I would
Like, is
100%
there-
would help with that. I would 100%
Yeah.
would help with that.
I don't want anything to do with the book anymore.
I'm like,
I will take the help. It's not gonna do much. Oh, yikes. That's a 8.
With an 8, looking through, you find a section that looks very faded, and you can't really make out the writing on it as for the actual publisher, but you do vaguely make out what looks like a stamp of a cockatrice.
I know this sigil.
You all are actually kind of familiar with that.
Stamp of a what?
So,
Cockatrice.
a cockatrice.
Cockatrice.
what? Wow. Oh God, this is really familiar, but my notes are always useless.
So if you would like, you can go ahead and give me a history check.
Any of us or specific?
Whoever wants to try to remember what this symbol is, because you
I'd
all
like-
have seen
Yeah.
it before.
I'll give it a swing,
That's
and I
an
got a
11 for me.
6.
17.
17. What did you get, Ro?
An 11.
11. Okay. Karen?
6. I'm too freaked out. I'm
Okay.
too freaked out, so I can't really focus.
21.
21. Okay. Echo?
A natural one.
Natural 1. Okay, so Steele and Halceris. You both recognize this as the stamp of House Civis.
I thought. I mean, it makes sense. It's the only place that really
They are the primary
specializes in
publishing. Yeah.
Literally a publishing house. In my looking through the pages, though, I don't know if I've told Steele my favorite recipe, but I will thumb through. Is my real name in the book as well?
It is.
I
You do
make
not
no
see
indication.
Halceris in there, but you do see your real name on within a recipe of what kind of risotto?
Jeez. It's probably just. Actually, in all honesty, it is probably just like a plain, like, the most, like, quintessential. So it's like, this is the basics. if you don't get this right, you can't really make it. So
Okay.
like probably like one of like the really scratch tradition makes. So like Parmesan, chicken stock. It's like
It's
super
your very
simple
baseline. Yeah.
baseline. I'm a basic old man.
A little bit of mushroom.
Tyrion comes over to look at the page. He's like, who the hell's so? And then
Yeah, I've been flipping through. I noticed, but it's just like
closes it. Like, who the hell's switches pages. Oh, sorry.
is I like to think this is probably bad omen. Finding in a ghost town in the Moonlands.
You think this town is from the future?
Might be for the future.
In a
Well, now that
tavern.
we have the deed, we can visit it again and
Yeah.
claim it.
You found that book in a tavern in the middle of the Moonlands that you now have the deed to.
Do you guys think that the future is full of mimics? Or future is full of houses with legs?
I mean, if we find him again, we'll know what to do, right?
Yeah, run.
Good
And
plan.
then
Or just shoot everything in sight. Come on, this is obvious. This is obvious.
I've had enough of spooky time. I'm going to go upstairs with the ghost pirates where it's a little more normal.
I'll be up there in a second. Just gonna. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll make breakfast on deck.
Okay. Wow, y'all are creeped out by a book. It's great.
Yeah, really.
yeah,
weird
that book
how
that you found in an abandoned town in the Moorlands. I mean,
Alright. So
Wait.
as you go up to the top deck and you start to prepare breakfast for everyone, you all see Captain Sebastian come out of his chambers and go off to towards the bow of the ship and start pointing out forward. And as those of you who kind of look and follow his finger, you can see from a distance what looks to be maybe half a dozen large towers on the horizon. And as you slowly progress through your breakfast and all that, they got closer and larger. And then you start to see what looks like a fairly large city scattered around the base of these towers. And what looks to be a large, even larger warforged than you've ever seen, sitting, almost leaning up against one of these towers, completely motionless.
Does it look familiar?
No, it does not.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
So this warforged that you're seeing looks to probably stand around 300 to 350 feet tall if it were to stand up.
So, the last time we were in the Moonlands, we saw something roughly 300 feet tall walking in the distance.
You saw the shadowy silhouette of it, yes, while you were walking through the dead gray mist.
Can I make assumption that it looked about this big?
Yeah. Yep. It looks to be about the same size. But this one, again, is sitting almost as if it's in a seated position, leaning up against one of these large towers. And as you still slowly approach, you all see the landscape before you. As you see the city sprawled out in front around it. You see some minor movement here and there. And Captain Sebastian looks at you and says, "Friends, we approach."
Is that thing down there normal? Is it usually there?
That thing is always there.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna look at Echo. I'm gonna say, hey, can I borrow the scimitar for a sec?
Yeah, sure. Hand it off
Okay.
to him.
I'm gonna spend 10 minutes to cast Identify on it.
Okay. There's some
Okay.
runes on the handle that I've never seen before. If you
I'm just curious to see if anything's changed about it.
can I see the book? One time. Oh, it's
Yeah,
in
I
the
just
it's in the
handed
back.
I
So
just handed the
gonna
bag.
pull up the- How you think of it? Like how do you get it?
Yep, just
Okay.
think of what you want. It'll come to you.
While they're doing this, Tavern is in the background, and just in the back, and then like shadows from feet up start to swirl around them.
Okay.
Do I notice that happening?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like not like get too close, but just like within like normal talking distance and be like, "Why? Are you good? You're getting."
It just goes up. It's not like something long, super long. It doesn't take like super long. It just starts at his feet. And goes
Okay.
straight up and encompasses the whole body. It's like a whirlwind, a tornado. Just goes up and it encompasses him and it dissipates.
Are you gonna
That
turn
would-
into a butterfly next?
Butterfly wings sprout now. When it dissipates, my hair, there's a shock of platinum blonde to his dark hair, and one of his eyes turns left or right. Yeah, one of his eyes turns to a gray. Instead of the golden brown he had, I have one of them turns to a bluish gray with flecks of brown in it.
Okay.
That's. You're not that old. Your hair shouldn't be getting white already. Right?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
And then I see his eyes and I'm like, guys.
What is it? What?
They don't match. They don't match.
I walk over and be like fully intrusive doctor. I'm like, after your dreaming episode, have you been feeling any uncomfortableness?
Apart from you looking.
Yeah. as he's holding up. Yeah, I am right now.
It is to be expected.
As you all are going through this, checking out the sudden change in Tyrion's appearance, you see the towers start to slowly approach as looks like you're coming to dock towards one of the taller ones that stands about 6 feet or 600 feet in the air. And Captain Sebastian kind of comes over. Something's wrong. Something's not right.
What?
Yosef is not here.
Okay.
I
Is
feel
he-
something is wrong.
Well, I mean, maybe something's holding him up. Does this mean that?
I don't know. But we will dock as usual.
Do I get anything off of the scimitar?
You do not. So there is no
Um,
magical property to the scimitar at all right now.
By default, it's a magical weapon. It's just a.
No. No, so this one is not magical.
Should we be on the look? Him being worried, I'm concerned, so I'm going to move to the side of the ship coming up on the docking in the.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check for like the city below or the dock itself? Like,
Yep. Go ahead. Give me a perception check.
Do I hear anything? Do I see monsters more than normal? The natural 19 makes 26.
All right. So with a 26, you look down and you're kind of looking over the ship as well, trying to see down towards the ruined city. And looking down, every once in a while, and it's still, you're 600 feet up in the air, so you're not really making out a lot of details. But through some of the alleyways and the streets that you can see within the city, every once in a while, you catch almost a glint of metal jet in between the different buildings and alleyways. And you hear a very faint, almost howling coming from the streets below. It's very, very faint. And then you hear, and all of you actually at this point catch this, what sounds like a large roar, almost metallic in a way, come from the direction of what you can see to be the castle of Seer.
How far away is the castle from our docking tower?
So from the tower that you all are approaching, the castle is probably maybe a half a mile or so to a mile away. This is a large city. This was the capital of Seer before the country of Seer found its end during the morning.
Sebastian, would it be possible? You said that Joseph stays in the palace. Yes.
That's where they hold up. Yeah.
Take us there. Do not take us to the dock.
Okay. And you see, and so he steers the ship, and you start heading lower down towards the castle. And as you slowly approach, you're looking over the side, you all can see now what looks like creatures just roaming all around the street, almost like wild dogs running around. Everybody go ahead and give me a perception check real quick.
18.
Okay.
21.
18 as well.
18, okay.
I don't suppose you'd let my old one slide, would you?
Yeah, no, yours will stay.
Oh, kick ass.
Yeah, yours will stay. Steel?
I got a 6, but Cafe does much better.
But your metallic horde, what do they get?
Cafe gets a 23.
Cafe gets 20. Okay, so Cafe sends it to you kind of telepathically, and the rest of y'all kind of catch most of it. It's all these things you see running throughout the streets look like they are made of metal.
Oh, Jesus.
Didn't do it.
A lot of you are getting real biscuit vibes from these things.
Okay.
But they seem to be twice the size of biscuit.
They couldn't be mini poodle size, could they?
Has there ever been a large Warforged population?
No, this is something I've never seen these before.
Do these look vaguely familiar to me now?
Looking at them, they don't really look that familiar. They do resemble Biscuit quite a bit, but there is something different about the way they're moving.
But nothing that I've seen in my dreams, because I've seen large numbers of Warforged creatures.
You know, actually, yes, you have seen these in a couple of your dreams. You have. So, in particular, the ones where, well, not just dreams, but the visions you've had too, where that large chamber where there's just Warforged everywhere, with the giant Warforged from the ship roaming around, your old mentor up in a crow's nest watching over. and a large structure or creature off in a back chamber. You've seen these creatures coming to life around that central obelisk within that large chamber during your dream.
We need to get far from here.
Agreed. But we should see if there are any survivors and make our way to the palace.
As you start to make your way closer down to the palace, all of you hear some metallic screeching coming from behind the ship.
I
And as you
run out after it.
As you all turn around and look, you see what looks to be 3 weird-looking machinations flying towards the ship. Each of them has 2 large wings, couple razor-sharp looking claws at the bottom, a long, elongated neck with a mouth full of teeth at the end, and a tail coming off each one that looks like it's tipped with some sort of spear. As they start to swoop in towards the back of the ship, as you are now 200 feet above the ground and about 400 feet out from the castle of Seer. What are you all doing?
Manning battle stations.
Yeah.
This is a ghost ship of the ship we were on before.
Yes.
There's a ballista on this ship.
Yes.
To the guns.
It's there this time.
I'm gonna go to the back of the ship and I'm going to actually prepare to fire with my weapons.
Okay.
Get
Hey,
the
look
ballista
at
ready.
Steel and say, you don't want to do what you did with the big war first.
I hop
don't
on the
know that
ballista.
So as you approach the giant ballista that's mounted in the center of the deck on the ship, before you even get to it, you see it start to rotate around, aiming towards the back of the ship by itself.
I look at Sebastian.
Damn it, Sebastian, you're taking all the fun out of it.
And then it stops.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Be my guest.
Well, you already did it. I don't want to do it anymore.
And it
Fine.
starts back up again.
Go ahead and shoot him. Ah.
And with
I
a
will follow
large
Steel.
twang of a string that's been taut being released, you see a bolt of shadow get launched from the ballista on this ship as it streaks out and plunges into one of these things, knocking it to the ground. And there's 2 more still in pursuit, as you are now 100 feet from the ground. It takes aim again, takes another shot at one of these things and knocks it out of the sky as well. The ship now starts to slow down as you are now 30 feet above the ground. And you see the crew start to throw ladders over the side of the ship for you to, if you wish to descend, as you are now 100 feet out in front of the castle of Seer.
Thank you, Sebastian. Keep a tight loop. Hopefully we'll be back soon.
And you just you see him, he kind of nods towards you, but you can tell he's focused on controlling the ballista as another bolt shoots out and hits the 3rd creature that was flying in.
He's very good. I
been doing this
look
for
to
a
the
little
others. What's up? Hopefully I'll see you soon. And yeah, I'll make my way to the ladder.
Okay.
Start climbing.
All right. What are the rest of you doing?
Yep, following.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow. Screw it.
For the ride.
Yeah, let's go.
Sebastian.
All right,
Oh.
Sebastian. See you later.
All right, so you all start climbing down the ladder. As you all arrive one by one to the bottom, you are now standing 100 feet towards the main entrance to the castle of Old Seer, where the old Seer and royal family lived. And looking up at the steps towards the door, you see what looks like 4 large wolves. But these are not your normal everyday wolves. These ones are completely made of metal. And as each one starts to slowly descend the stairs, everybody go ahead and give me a perception check real quick.
16.
18.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20,
13.
13.
What kind of check? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
So perception.
I got a 13. They got a lot higher.
Okay. So most of you catch it. I think, Taryn, you had a what again?
13.
13. So you don't catch it right away. But as you see these 4 large creatures slowly descending the stairs, each one of them has some sort of energy coalescing inside of its maw, as one of them looks to have flames kind of spewing out the side. Another one has some electrical crackling going on. Another one looks like it's just a chilled frost coming out, almost as if a cold breath.
Burn out.
The 4th one, you just see it dripping with some sort of clearish liquid that you can't quite make out from this distance. And as they slowly start to approach, that is where we're going to go ahead and pick up next week. As you have now found yourselves in the city of Metro, staring down 4 mechanical hounds. Yeah. So, what do y'all think?
Think
Gotta teach the
Metro's
biscuits.
gone mental, man.
Whoa.
Hey.
Mental or metal?
Mental.
Pretty metal though.
It's pretty metal.
It is pretty
Yeah.
metal, yeah. I agree.
Right, man.
So, yep. So y'all were able to spend a little bit of time with Sebastian, get some, catch up a little bit, find out what's been going on. You all got involved in a conversation with Carson that went kind of interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
A little getting everybody involved in on that one.
Yeah, no.
And
Getting everybody in there.
and you all
We're
found a
still-
book, a cookbook written by Steele and Echo.
Yeah.
Look at her.
When did they do that?
Yes. When
All
did
this
they do
downtime
that?
we've got.
Yeah. I wonder. And what else would you
good
have found
ideas.
if you had managed to explore more of that abandoned village?
Yeah, the
I found
inside
lots
of a
of rice,
mimic.
so we got.
Yeah.
Oh, there was some other fun little things hidden in there, but I'll save that for another day.
Until we go back and reclaim what's ours.
Yes.
Namely, the inn.
Yeah.
Bar.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tavern.
yeah. You all have the deed to an inn. And yes, as it was said last week, it is a dirty deed. But I mean, I hope y'all are enjoying this evening. I mean, a much lighter episode than what we've had recently. I think after all the torture I've put these guys through for the last month or so, they needed a bit of a break. Nothing too traumatic for them today. But now we get into what's really going on here in the city of Metro. And I'm
Hey,
definitely looking forward to that.
I'm just saying the last time we were cornered by a bunch of big wolves with breath weapons, we got out pretty well.
Better than
Just
halfling.
saying.
Yeah.
We don't have a
so-
spare halfling. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean that was interesting. But those were regular giant wolves that could breathe a couple different elements. These are right up Steel's wheelhouse with the mechanical components and all that. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Definitely looking forward to that next week. Before we go ahead, call it an evening tonight, though, we go rate a friend here in a little bit. We're just gonna go over a few last minute announcements with everybody. I think let's see what you got for us, Brandon.
Yeah, no, if you liked our show, be sure to check out some of the other shows here at the Games Tavern. Our friends over the Belk and Weave are on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Follow them as they delve into the ever-changing adventure spun on by the legendary DM Eric Mengi. The Velk and Weave have discovered a ruined temple of Elistray. Can they unravel the mystery of the empty shrine and the tree that grows gems? And immediately after the Velk and Weave, we have the Mists. The crew explores the Mists of Ravenloft, discovering new adventures throughout their journey. Next week, they will be changing things up a bit, as one of the players will be running a dream sequence. Should be pretty exciting. We know a thing or two about that.
Yeah. We love dream sequences, don't we?
Of course.
Well, and if you want to catch some of our old dream sequences, the best way to do that is to go subscribe to the Games Tavern YouTube channel right now. Subscribing is free. You won't miss any of our action, and you can catch up on all of the shows and all of our content. So anything you can leave us, likes, positive comments, anything like that. It helps other people find the show and join in on the fun. So please go on over to YouTube after we're done and check that out.
You should also check out Shard Tabletop because they are awesome and we would like to thank them for sponsoring the show. You can go to the link in chat to check it out yourself. Don't forget to use code TGTShard20, all caps and then 20, to get your 20% discount on your DM Pro and other subscriptions.
Yep, absolutely. We've started implementing it and using it here at the Games Tavern. It's a great tool. We're having a lot of fun playing around with it. All our streams are being run with that now. So definitely go check it out for yourselves. And don't forget to make sure you come back next week. Or no, actually, we will not be streaming next week as most of us will be preparing for Thanksgiving in our various different ways. But we will be back the week after and come back then to see what is going on in this lost city of Metro. And there's going to be a few surprises for our crew next week. So stay tuned for that in a couple of weeks. We'll see you then. Have a good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.